Hey everybody, it's me, W. Kamau Bell. Welcome back to the ACLU's podcast, At Liberty, hosted by this guy. On this show, we explore the big questions on the big issues affecting our big country, and especially our hardest hit and most vulnerable communities. Now, a few months back, we recorded an episode about our right to protest, and at its center was the case of Mahmoud Khalil, who had recently been arrested by ICE. Khalil, as listeners likely know, is a lawful permanent resident in the United States and a Columbia University graduate. And he was targeted for deportation by the Trump administration because of his Palestinian rights advocacy. For 104 days, he was illegally detained in Louisiana, thousands of miles away from his family. He missed the birth of his first child, Dean. He was denied due process, and he and his wife, Dr. Noor Abdallah, were subjected to harassment and threats to their safety. Throughout, Clear at CUNY, the Center for Constitutional Rights, the ACLU, and other organizations continue to advocate for him. And hashtag Free Mahmoud became a rallying cry heard around the world. In late June, a federal court successfully ordered his release, at last. Thankfully, he is now back in New York City with his family, and today I am so honored to have him join us on the podcast. Thank you for doing this with me.
No, thank you so much for having me.
You're sort of a celebrity now, and then we start to put you in celebrity and might disentangle you from dad, husband, activist.
Yeah, that's actually spot on. It's so difficult now. I want to go for walks, with my newborn and Noor, my wife. I want to go to my favorite brunch place. And for the most part, I can't. I wanted to come here in the subway, but then everyone was like, no, that's not a good idea.
Oh, wow.
Use the subway. So I had to, be stuck in traffic for extra 10, 15 minutes. There's all these small things that I don't think fame or celebrity is actually that exciting at all. Especially I did not choose that. ICE did, but so
ICE decided to make you famous.
But it's still I think it's a responsibility. Of course, in some ways, it's a privilege that now I have such a platform, but it's also a big responsibility that I now carry on my shoulder, and I have to deliver, because that more than anything, no one is perfect, and there's no way that I can take everything and take it forward. It's I don't think that I can do that. But I will do my best, basically for my people and for the rights of people in general.
Well, yeah, I think you have found yourself in that rarefied activist air where you have become maybe one of the faces of the movement, or currently right now the face of the movement. And I feel like as a Black American, I've seen it happen to Black activists where suddenly through a series of circumstances that they weren't trying to make happen, they become the voice of the movement, or a voice for the movement. I live in Oakland, California, and out there, there's a lot of the Black Panthers started out there, and Angela Davis is out there. And Angela Davis, who is, went through a thing where she was one of America's in the top 10 most wanted list, but just an activist for her people.
Wow.
And she told a story one time about how while she was on America's top 10 most wanted list, Stevie Wonder was coming to town, and she's like, I just want to go see Stevie Wonder. And she said, even though I'm America's most wanted criminal, I want to see Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
and she went to a Stevie Wonder concert. I said, how did it go? She's like, it was fun, because everybody there was just happy to see her outside having a good time. So
yeah, and this is unfortunately what power want to do. When they portray us as criminals, or whatever, the words they use, to dehumanize us, to take this away from us. That when you hear whether it's Angela Davis or Mahmoud Khalil or anyone that criminal, that all these words, and to me this is very saddening, in a way that no, I love to go out. I love to have friends. I love to meet other Americans, other people in the street. It's not that, oh, like I'm just like wanna, protest and wanna do I don't know, like all these words like
Yeah.
so, and in terms of like becoming like a voice or a voice of the movement, it's also like it carries very heavily, because I know there are many more brave students out there who are risking everything much more than what I risked, speaking out for Palestine, speaking out like against injustice. And then like it's me, that the voice of the movement. It's just like, it doesn't feel right to me, in so many ways, to be honest.
I'm sort of relating to the celebrity side of this because I'm famous and I speak out about good causes. Sometimes people treat me as if I'm the answer. And I'm always very aware, like I have to point to people who are the answers, the actual activists, people like yourself, to make sure that like I don't start to think, oh yeah, I am. I do know
that's. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. You have to teach me that. But that's so. Yeah, I think 100%. I totally agree with you. Like about how we use our voices to actually point to where the answer is, rather than like give the answer or expect us like to have all the answers, because we don't. Like it's as simple as that, and no one should have.
No one should say they have all. Yes. So. I just feel like it's like a love train of like I point to you, you point to somebody else, that person points to somebody else, and we all sort of eventually point at each other. You know what I mean? We all sort of understand that it takes us all.
What a movement is. A civil movement, like a real civil movement, is there's no leader, and it's the collective that actually carries the movement forward, and the collective that has the answer, not like one specific individual in that collective.
Yeah. I do want to focus a little bit more on the joy side of this, because now you've entered into the phase of like being written about when you're just out in the world enjoying yourself. This is a good one. So you went to see a comedy show recently. It sounds like I read it in the it was the New York Magazine or the New Yorker.
The New Yorker.
The New Yorker. I get those confused because I'm from the West Coast. But so you were at. Can you tell us a little about the comedy show you went to?
So we went to Rami's comedy show. Rami Youssef, who's Egyptian American comedian. / I think everything.
Yeah, activist, writer.
He's amazing. He's amazing, and
you and Noor went.
Noor and I went there, and Hanif Abdurraqib, the one who wrote this amazing piece. I really don't know how he can come up with such words to describe like just the like things. It's
I thought it was very expertly crafted and delicate and beautiful, without feeling like he was demanding that you and Noor like engage with it. Like
to be honest, I did not know that he was doing that until after the fact. So I was like, maybe if you all told me, like I could have done something,
you would have acted differently.
But he did such an amazing job, to be honest, and it was the first time I think I go to an event, or actually like just like to be with people after my release. I think it was like a week after my release or less. Actually, it was, like about a week after my release. So to see that amount of love from people, it really like gave me so much hope that actually people can see truth, can see what we are as a humans.
There's this moment, I want to talk about this briefly and we can move on, where you come out on stage with Rami. Was Noor on stage with you too?
No, she was not. Yeah, for a moment, I had something to say in my mind, but then when I was there and just seeing like thousands of people like standing, and you can see like some people like actually crying in the crowd. It felt so overwhelming. Like I felt very emotional, and at some point, like I couldn't actually like talk. Like
and you talk
so
for
it felt
a living
that way, like that, and this is what I always felt, that like the people are with us. The people can see the truth, and this is why the authority and the power is going, and the establishment, I would say, is going crazy, because they cannot comprehend that like, well, the people are actually like awakening to what's happening, and they see beyond hate, the hate that they're trying to spew about like Muslims, about Palestinians, about like anyone who's different from what this establishment is trying to portray as a perfect American, or what who is the ideal American.
Yes.
That like Trump and Stephen Miller and those like are trying to portray now, like to the public.
Yeah, I think that as an African American, Black American, I use both. That I know that when I see people in this country under attack, even if they don't share my identity, I'm next on that list.
Absolutely, because they usually start with the weakest. So in my case, like, they started with visa holders, green card holders, but we can see now like they're going after citizens. Even they start with pro-Palestine, but also they've already started with as you said, like African American community here, the Latin community now in California and Florida. They've already started with the LGBTQ like community as well, like going after them. Would continue to go after women, like so it wouldn't stop. Like if someone thinks that it would stop at Palestinians, it wouldn't. If they think it would stop at Muslims, it wouldn't. It's just like for them, it's a building block. Like they want to see your reaction to this, then they can go after the second one in line until they go like after everyone who they want to go after. And this is what's really important for people to understand. Like we don't have to agree on politics. I don't have to agree with you. So it's just like to agree on our rights, like to defend our rights. That is like legitimate rights. And I think now that I hope that like the public are well aware of this now.
I think slowly, we're seeing a lot of people who are coming to new political awareness. The thing that I hope is that their new awareness sticks. I think sometimes with people, they come to a new awareness and it's a little bit like your New Year's resolution to this year, I'm going to the gym every day. And then by that second week, you're like,
Yeah, no, the political memory is usually short, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But with the level of suppression that this administration is currently inflicting on people, I think like the public wants to be involved more because it's impacting their daily lives and their future and their like all their like grandchildren, children, all of that. So that's why like we should think about long term rather than just like, oh, now this is happening and in a year we forget and we...
Yes. The other thing that I thought, and this is the last I'll bring up the stand-up comedy show, but it's a way to segue into another thing, was that when I saw that you and Noor were both there, I was like, oh, cool, they got somebody to take care of the baby. As a dad, I was like, oh, good, they have help. So like that's how I know I'm like 70% dad, no matter what I am. And I was like, oh, cool, they got somebody to take with the baby. Good for them. They got out of the house.
No, we're very grateful to have like so many friends. And a friend of ours, like immediately, like when we received the invitation, like she was like, I'm gonna take care of Dean. You don't have to worry about him. But then like Noor and I were on our phone, just like it was the first time we leave Dean alone.
I'm
like,
sure.
So we're just like texting our friend, like, oh, like, is he okay? Did he eat? Did he sleep? Like, did you change him?
Did he say he missed us? Did he say my name? Did I miss him saying my name?
It was, I think, that was the first time we leave him. Like,
I'm sure, especially you'd only been out, like you said, a week or so, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I think like the first time, it was during the rally. Like we left him for like an hour, but he was in the next room.
Yeah.
So like he was with us all the time. But that one, like 4 hours, it felt a lot. Like
the baby's just sleeping. The baby's just eating and sleeping.
I know, but it's to us. We don't know. Like
I've been there. I've got,
and you need someone you trust, like to take care of of the baby. You can't just like bring like a random
you can't just
babysitter.
You can't go on Task Rabbit and say, get a babysitter.
No, but it's, and this is a new reality that I'm readjusting to. just now, like we have a baby, like and like it changes all your life, like with your sleep schedule, with every. I mean, like I wouldn't go in and in, but it's. I mean, it feels so rewarding as well. To take care of the baby, and then just like to spend some time, even if like you think they're not reacting or understanding, but just like, to me, spending like from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. with him, like, although like I would be so tired, but like it feels the word to me.
Well, I just want to say a couple things. One, afterwards, you'll meet my 14-year-old out there who was once a baby, a tiny, tiny baby who would sit right here on my shoulder, and I would just sit in the middle of the night watching movies or whatever with that baby there. That time means a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy for you that you have that time. Yeah,
especially that time was like stolen from me for about 2 months. Actually, 2 months. I was released on the 2 months anniversary of Dean. Like I spent the first few days, like at night, not sleeping, just like looking at him, staring at him, because it felt that such moments can be stolen, like abruptly, any moment, without any cause. So I wanted like to clutch to these moments with him, and then with Noor.
If there's any advice I can give you as a new dad, I guess I have 3 daughters. That time is super important. You cannot snuggle a baby enough. You cannot hold a baby enough. You can't. There's advice somebody told me. It's impossible to spoil a newborn baby. So sometimes people are like, "Oh, I'm holding him too much," or "I'm being too stuck." No, it is impossible to spoil a newborn baby. So enjoy all that time.
I'm trying.
Yeah, and really, it's and that's where relationship building. I feel like my relationship with my daughter has only been clearer since that moment. It's the same exact relationship. It's just there's just more talk back now. But it has not changed. I knew that kid then. I know that kid now. So, and the other thing I think as a dad, the transition from not a dad to dad, and I say specifically as a dad because the person who did not give birth to the kid. I can't speak to the other side, but is dramatic, even if you're there the whole time. I can't imagine what it was like to be let out of detention and suddenly be thrown into 2-month-old baby. Like, you don't have this slow segue of like newborn, week old. How did you manage that? I feel like it almost felt like you would have needed some sort of decompression chamber.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with that. Like, I mean, Noor has helped me a lot with that. I mean, she's a real like warrior. Like, she was 8 months pregnant when I got like kidnapped, and she managed like through all of that, and even during the first months, like just that every day she would tell me like how, like day by day, like how she felt during these days and months. But I'm still learning. Like yesterday, I learned like how the diaper, like if there's a color change. If I discovered that yesterday, like when I was about to change him, it was like, yeah, you need to change him now because the color change. I was told what color. And then there's that line that changes from green to blue. Or blue to green. So it's still a process, and mostly like also to be as much support to Noor as possible, not to leave her like with the same burden that she had to carry for the 104 days that I was not present.
Yeah, every dad has to learn about that color change. It's usually we don't learn about it 3 months in. You know what I mean? Like every dad there's all these little tiny things that every dad has to learn. And I want to be clear. You say you said earlier, you said something about like the being compelled to do these things. And I just, as a dad, want to be like, not all dads feel compelled to do these things. So I want to give you some special love as a good dad.
No, I mean, it's we have to do it. Like it's.
But you say that, but not every dad does that.
To me, it's a no-brainer. Like,
well, that may be true. Yeah.
Despite like me, because I'm under so much stress now, under so much pressure, and I have so many things to do, like with
Yeah,
the
most
legal
dads
team, but
don't
I still
also have to.
wanna have that like support to Noor first and foremost, but also to build the relationship with Dean,
Mhm,
which is also like equally important.
mhm. Um, I just want to also say that I was asked by the ACLU to be a part of the video where they are
Yeah,
reading the letter you wrote to Dean, and it's one of the honors of my life to feel like
thank you. No, it's. I mean, the first time I saw that video actually was at an ABC interview.
I saw that footage. Yeah,
I mean, Noor played it to me on the phone. I
yeah.
did not see the video, but it also felt like so emotional. Just like for so many dads to come together actually to write to read the letter that I wrote to Dean and. I mean, thanks to everyone, thanks to the ACLU team who made that happen. Um, and this is one of the ways, like that you feel that you're supported. Like when I was inside where Noor was delivering Dean, and it felt that the whole world like closed on me. I It felt like I was so alone. Um, um, it's just like so dark like during that moment, so to then like see all these like celebrities and even like people like just around the world like
Mhm.
actually reacting to that moment, it felt like like s- there's support, like the word is healing.
Mm.
It's not that dark.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was an honor to be asked to be a part of it, and so happy that you're to be able to talk with you. You used a word, and that I think is very key in talking about this. When we talked about ICE coming to get you, you say when I was kidnapped, and a lot of people may have thoughts about what happened to you, or may have thoughts about the legal system, or what the federal government's right to do something or not do something. What makes you use the word kidnapped?
The fact that you have plainclothes agents in unmarked cars um, coming to arrest you without an arrest warrant. And this is the basics of due process. This is
Mhm.
the basics of rule of law. Um, and they don't tell you anything, and they just take you from one place to another without even like what are the charges, allegations, any of that,
Here's
like
some paperwork.
yeah, nothing like
Here's a
you.
report from the
So
judge. Here's a
at all, and despite like my repeated requests to have that, so it is like kidnapping. Like that's how you kidnap like people,
Mhm.
even if you are a law enforcement. This is not how the law is like should be enforced.
Yeah.
There are processes. That's why we have due process. That's why there's rule of law, to manage such situations that no one is above the law.
Mhm.
So that's why I say it's kidnapped, being kidnapped. Especially that like until this moment I'm not being charged with any
Still,
with any crimes.
as
No
we sit here,
crimes.
since they took you, you were there for 104 days till this moment. We sit here right now, and you've been out for how long now?
3 weeks.
Wow, only 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The news moves so fast. I would have said 2 months. Like
Three
it's
weeks.
only been 3 weeks. Wow.
So yeah, all these circumstances and conditions is what kidnapping is. Like this is how people that we or governments that the United States like oppose, they kidnap their opponents, political opponents,
Mhm.
during the night, come and take them, and that what happened to me.
Yeah, I think that the way I've been sort of framing this for people, for Americans who don't have a lot of international experience or don't pay attention to international news, is like when I was a kid, the things that our country is doing, we made fun of other countries for.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we thought of those countries as being backwards or anti-democracy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we're doing
and
those.
this is why I fled Syria, because in Syria, similar, like they have mukhabarat, which is intelligence. They do the same. Like they come extrajudicially without any warrants, without any judge knowing what these people are doing, and they just like kidnap people and throw them in jails.
I just want to shout out and give you some time to talk about Noor, because without a partner like her, this just happens very differently. Without a partner who immediately pulls their phone out, calls the lawyer, like there's just a lot that Noor did in that moment. And while you were there and speaking out for you, that I think, a lot of times it's easy to focus on, and for Americans, it's like we have to focus on Martin Luther King Jr. and also Coretta, who's right there making it possible and doing things you don't even know, the invisible work.
Yeah.
So can we talk about Noor for a second?
No, I mean, in my case, like Noor is the story, I believe. Like, without her, I don't think like things would have worked the same way. She's very fierce, and to be honest, like even I was very impressed, like by like her courage. Like the first couple of days, she was because I was so concerned about her health and safety
and the stress that puts on
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, like you don't have to do anything. Like just like you're already 8 months pregnant. Like just
be pregnant.
Be
That's
pregnant.
Plenty.
Exactly. And she refused. She literally like was handling like an operation room, just to handle every aspect. Like she would interview the lawyers. She would talk to the media, to my family, like update them on the situation, everything. And I can't. Yeah, I don't think I can thank her enough or give her enough credit for what she has done, because she's still doing a lot now, too, and all that again, like while she was pregnant, like even the day before delivery, like she was doing a lot of things, and then a week after she was back at it and again, and I think this is one of the things that I feel very grateful about, like having such a supporting partner who never, blamed me for any of that. Like who believed.
Oh yeah, who didn't say why did you, if you hadn't spoken out so loudly,
like
blah
why,
blah blah.
No, yeah. She was like on board with all of that, because she knows that it's important to speak against like Israeli atrocities against my people. She believes in a better world for Dean and all other Palestinian children. My people are being slaughtered by the day, and this is why I really appreciate Noor for being that mindful and actually, because she also does like advocacy the same as as I do, like for Palestine, because we know that this transcends like our individual circumstances, and it's actually for a world where Dean and other children around the world can live in peace and dignity.
I know you've talked about this story a lot. What surprised you about being in detention? Just any detail, anything, could be good, bad, or indifferent. What did you not expect? Again, I don't know. I'm not asking for a particular answer.
No, I was entirely surprised that such injustice is happening on U.S. soil, in these detention centers. I never, to be honest, like thought or expected that such injustice is happening on U.S. soil every single day, against so many brilliant people.
Because you're seeing all sorts of people in there.
Yeah, literally. And to me, that was a shock. Like when I was there, hearing people's stories and learning about this crooked immigration system that the U.S. has, because it's not something the U.S. citizens or like me, like I came here, like on a visa, I have a green card. Like I don't deal with the immigration system as much, but to witness that closely, to me was a shock, and this was one of the silver linings of my arrest, like just to go there and shed some light on what's happening there, to meet with so many incredible individuals from around the world who just want to have, good future. So this is what the silver lining, like for me to be there also, like to help them navigating the immigration system every, at every turn. That, but at some points I felt like, God has a way, or to send me there to support others, or actually just to shed light on some of the things that are happening there. But what's happening behind ICE detention centers should be like a stain on U.S. rule of law and due process.
And are there other people in there who are like you, who no charges filed against them?
So mostly for them, they're either undocumented or like their documents were expired. But it's all by design. Like it's not because they did not want to be documented. Like there was someone there who had been in the United States for over 20 years, like I think for 27 years. His two daughters are U.S. citizens who are working like in the U.S. government. And he was deported just because,
documents.
Yeah. And this is just one of the story, but like all the stories are the same. And just to make sure, like, because people, when they hear like immigration enforcement, they get like, oh, but we have to enforce immigration. Yes, you can, but like you have to fix the system.
And recently, and it's tied into the government, the Trump administration recently wanting to end birthright citizenship, which is another way to create more undocumented people.
Absolutely.
And luckily, the ACLU stood up to that.
Yeah.
This question, feel free not to answer. I just can't help but wonder. I imagine you think about like when things settle down, or when you get to, do you stay here in this country?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm fighting right now. Like I'm fighting to make America better, so that I can live here, raise my children in this country, where they can live in equality, peace, dignity, and prosperity with everyone in this country, regardless of their background.
These are some lightning round questions I'm going to ask you.
Yeah,
I'm going to add an extra one in for me. What's next for your activism?
I don't know what are my next steps, to be honest. I'm still trying to comprehend where I am right now. Yeah. But the core thing is I would remain committed to opposing oppression and suppression, and opposing a genocide. So this is the core thing. So I definitely will continue doing that, whatever I can, in any ways that I can do that. So, but it's still like I'm again, like I don't know it all.
It's been 3 weeks. The news cycle moves so fast. I was like, you've been out for a year now. It's been 3 weeks. I'm sorry.
I don't know it all, and I just want to continue like really advocating for the rights of those marginalized in this country, whether they're immigrants and those like targeted for their political speech.
What are your hopes for the next generation? As a dad, I have 3 daughters, so I think about the next generation a lot. As you said, I got the 14-year-old out here who thinks she's this generation already, but what are your hopes in that, including your son, Dean? What are your hopes for the next generation?
My hopes that they wouldn't have to deal with the things that I'm dealing with right now.
Amen.
That they wouldn't need to, protest in the street just to get their basic rights. I hope that they will have it like by then. But also I hope that we will at least like give, not I don't say give, like at least pass on some moral clarity, even if the word is not perfect, but just to them to know like the moral clarity of a world that we all want to live in. Again, regardless of of our background and of who we are. Just like we're humans. Like let's do that.
Yeah, let's be. We're all humans. Can we just agree that we should be able to be our human selves? What's the best thing about being a dad?
The best thing about being a dad? There's a lot of good things.
I think that's fine. Let's name it down to one.
No, now you have an excuse to cancel anything.
Yes. You got the right answer. I didn't know there was a right answer until you said that. The reason I can't come,
I have a baby.
I'd love to come help you move on Sunday morning. I'd love to come see. I'd love to come see your slideshow at your house. But
I think the thing is just to me, like when Dean and Noor and I are just like hanging around, like. Yeah. On the bed, like doing nothing, and him like whether it's smiling or just going to us, that feels like the word to me.
That is probably number 2 behind being able to cancel anything. That's a lifelong thing. No matter how old your kids are, you can be like, my 14-year-old, I got to cancel.
The third thing is just like now you. Which unfortunately, like that was something I was looking forward to. Yeah, is just to walk with him, like as an excuse to walk.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
like have the stroller and just go and talk like things that you don't want to discuss them with anyone else. Just with someone who's not necessarily reacting to you, so you can just like say whatever you want.
So last 2 questions. Last one: who's funnier, me or Rami? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. So this is the last one. We like to give people homework on this show.
Okay.
Is there one thing folks can do that you would say you want people who are listening to this to do, or one thing you want them to remember from this conversation?
So I definitely want them to remember that injustice against any one of us is injustice against everyone. And we have to be in solidarity regardless of what we think about like others' opinion.
Well, thank you for this. It's really been
Thanks for having me.
I got you out of the house for an hour. So enjoy your time away, but also enjoy time with Dean.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you,
brother. Thank you. Thanks again to our guest, Mahmoud Khalil, and to the New York Civil Liberties Union, aka NYCLU, who collaborated with us on this episode. They also have their own podcast called Rights This Way, where they discuss the legal and policy implications of some of the most important issues facing New York State. Go listen and subscribe. You're already in your own podcast app right now, so you don't have to go nowhere. Just do it right now. Also, if this episode inspires you, you can head to aclu.org and donate. And since you're in a donating mood, donate to NYCLU, CCR, and CLEAR. Getting Mahmoud home safe was a family affair, a team sport, and a massive group effort that wouldn't have been possible without all these folks and more. It's because of your support that organizations like these can advocate for clients like Mahmoud, and there are many more clients like Mahmoud. If we've learned anything together, it's that there's a lot of advocacy work left to do. And it takes all of us. Remember we said that during the podcast. It's all of us pointing at each other to get it all done. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, friends help friends stay in the fight. Join us! Until next time, I'm your host, W. Kamau Bell. At Liberty is a production of the ACLU. Our senior executive producer is Sam Riddell. This episode was executive produced by the ACLU's Jessica Herman-Whites and Who Knows Best Productions, me, Kelly Rafferty, PhD, and Melissa Hudson-Bell, PhD. This show is edited and produced by Erica Ghetto and Mariah Gossett for Good Get. Special thanks this week to Gotham Production Studios, who allowed us to record the interview here.